Okay, here we are back again with more Dragon Age Inquisition. And I'm back in Skyhold again. I wanted to do some inventory management, and also I was starting to get a little too flush. All that money was burning a hole in my proverbial pocket, so I went to Val Royeaux and I spent most of it. I spent it all on, I bought like all the beds and stuff. Basically all of the Skyhold stuff that you could purchase in Val Royeaux, I bought it all. So now I can play around a little bit more with like the drapery and which bed is in my room and what kind of glass I want in the windows in my room, and because that's the most important thing in this game, of course, is, you know, making Skyhold look nice all the time. Anyway, while we're here, we might as well go to the war room and check out our war table before we go back to the Western Approach and do more stuff in the Western Approach, because I want to go back to the Western Approach. And I swear to God, I'll talk to everybody again soon. I just, you know, I get caught up and I want to run around in the world and do stuff. But I do want to talk to people too. Let's see. Truth or Dare, a dangerous game. Nightingale. We underestimated the threat. Our friend, the Marquise, met with a dozen nobles in the past week. Bribes in the form of gifts changed hands, most of them busts of Justinia V. We appropriated one and discovered it hollow and stuffed with red Illyrium. Awaiting instructions. Fisher. Well, that's pretty bad. Secure a route through the Frostbacks. Inquisitor, we have begun sending soldiers along the road from the Fallow Mire. I would like to pass on their considerable gratitude for being spared treks across the Frostbacks. Our healers seem happier as well. Commander Cullen. Well, you know, I'd do anything for you, Cullen. Enhanced Belt of the Winter Pact. Okay. Thanks from a Chantry sister. Inquisitor Trevelyan. I have joined my sisters in Denerim's Chantry. It is grander than the Chantry in my former village. I believe I can do some good here. I founded a charity to aid those the breach and the Fade Rifts impacted. I tell all who ask that the Inquisition made this possible. Maker's blessings upon you, Sister Paulette. That sounds good. She's doing what she wants to do and also helping us in the same at the same time. So
Crestwood has had no further trouble with the undead.
After what happened, it will take time for the village to recover.
Yes, I have to agree with that. But I'm glad that they're not having trouble with the undead anymore. I thought there was one over here. Maybe not. Let's do a patrol for the crew. A report in Cullen's hand. We've had a request for some general patrols. It is heartening that we are being looked to in this way, but I doubt we would find any activity directly related to Corypheus, and our resources are better sent elsewhere. The request was in the same region as the bandits reported by the Sutherland lad. Perhaps we should extend his duties. Sure. I'll notify the Sutherland boy. He'll have minor sanction to request resources for patrols. Yeah, go for it. Let's encourage the boy. He seems like a good sort. Let's do it.
All right.
This one's been sitting here for a while. To serve any master. Inquisitor. Here's an interesting thing. Among the various things we found at Karabronic that belonged to its former mercenary inhabitants was a journal, and in it I found mention of several high-placed clerks in the Imperial Counting House who are, shall we say, known for their loose tongues. They sell what they know to mercenaries seeking to outbid others for work, but should we dispatch agents to speak with them, it would take very little pressure to have them work exclusively for us. The agents would need to remain to watch over our new friends, but I've been trying to place eyes on these positions for years. Liliana. This is one for Josephine. With your permission, I'll send agents to secure these men straight away. Go for it.
Inquisitor.
What else have we got? Expose the double agent. An unknown traitor is lurking in Liliana's closest circle of spies, and she must set a subtle trap. to catch the double agent. The planning will take considerable patience, but the Inquisition must purge this enemy spy from its ranks. We must move carefully. This traitor is a master of the craft to escape my detection for so long. Alright, well, let's do it then.
Let's see what we have.
Alright, good. We're all set. So, now that I'm sufficiently broke, again, let's head back out to the western approach, I think. Yeah, let's travel. Let's take Varric. Let's take Dorian. Yeah, let's take Blackwall. That's fine. Alright, cool. Let's,
I've news, sir.
oh, a logging stand right here. Sure. Alright. Let's sort of just head in this general direction. I need lots of death root.
More death. Someone has a lot to answer for.
It would seem so, my friend. It would seem so. Alright, let's, destroy that. Here's a mosaic piece. A scrawled note. Louis. S says get the Templars whatever they want, no questions asked. So stop asking. They want refugees and travelers, we get them. Marius. Okay. That's very ominous. Like, extremely ominous. Dragonthorn. I like Dragonthorn. There's this, anyway. I'm not sure I even want to know what that is. Frankly. It seems a little frightening. I don't think anything is up there worth looting, so I guess we'll leave that as is. Our Lady of the Anderfels. A land filled with wonders like the Murdain, with its gigantic white statue of Our Lady carved into its face, her hands outstretched and bearing an eternal flame. Genetivi's words, brief as they were, inspired me. This stone prophet sounded magnificent. I had to see her for myself. I trekked up the Imperial Highway, concealing my identity and taking care not to seem like a foreigner. At Valdorma, a neglected road led west. Soon, the dry land gave way to absolute desolation. Red earth, bones, blowing sand stripped my face raw. When it cleared, I could see for miles. Not that there was anything to see. The few settlements I encountered were populated with derelicts and chantry zealots. They warned me of worse trials should I continue to the Murdain. Eventually, I turned back, opting for a smaller statue in a place the Maker hadn't abandoned. Brother Berard, Parendel Chantry Cleric. So yeah, this place is not the Anderfels. This is the western approach. This is the far western reaches of Orlais, which is not to be mistaken for the Anderfels, which is actually further north from here. But I imagine this place is a little bit like the Anderfels in terms of its general climate and air of desolation. They are similarly blighted lands, let's put it that way. As I think I said before, I believe it was the second blight that basically made this place pretty close to uninhabitable. The Anderfels, I'm pretty sure were, if it wasn't the second blight, it might have been the fourth. No, I think it was the second blight that also ruined the Anderfels and basically made it, yeah, again, sort of uninhabitable, more or less. So there is a landmark. I believe, I want to say the landmark is actually below. What's this? More research supplies. Almost illegible note. Jeanette, be careful bringing back the equipment from the university. Marcus saw some dangerous-looking folk skulking about in the caves near the road. Bandits or brigands or anti-intellectuals of some ilk. I do not know what they might want with us or our research materials, but it is better to be safe than sorry. Frederick. Okay. Those are just ladders. So let's go in this cave. I only remember this, I think, because I believe, if I recall correctly, in my very first playthrough of this game, when it first released, I probably spent, I spent a really long time trying to climb this hill, looking for that landmark before realizing that I actually had to go into this cave to get it. It was one of those things where it's just like, the first time I was just, like, for some reason, I was just utterly convinced that the landmark was above me, was on, like, on top of the hill or something, when in actuality it was here the whole time. More mosaic pieces, which is awesome. Ghoul's beard, more Ghoul's beard, I need that. I do believe I can grow ghouls. I got some Ghoul's beard seeds, so I can now grow Ghoul's beard in my garden at Skyhold, which is nice. You want to, you know, it's always good to be able to grow it yourself if you can't find it, especially the rare stuff. Faded Journal. We know they were here. They put up those awful statues of Andraste looking snobbish everywhere they go. Not much of a secret location. We know they found a way to reverse tranquility, but so far, nothing we've uncovered has told us how they did it. I hate that statue. She just keeps sneering at me. Okay. Lost Idol. The relief carvings on this slab depict worshippers of Razakel, old god of mysteries, engaged in a religious ceremony. Okay. But yeah, it's definitely nice to be able to grow some things at Skyhold, especially some of the rare stuff that you might otherwise have to go hunting around for quite a bit. That can be kind of a pain. What is this? Lamar Tower. Senior Warden Lamar, hero of the Second Battle of Forward Pass, held back 3 charges of Darkspawn during the critical long night of the Second Blight, and lost her life in service to Thetis. from the Grey Warden Archives at Weishaupt. Alright, let's find some shards since we're here. That's like a quillback or something over there. Not fun. Not fun. But there's some shards anyway. There is another rift in this general direction. Might as well, right? Alright. And once again, I don't think I'm going to be able to grab two of them. Sometimes, but these are pretty evenly spaced apart. I don't think I'm going to be able to grab two of them. So I'll just grab the one nearest to me because... Alright. There's a lot of rifts out here. Yes, here I was gonna say I think there's a camp nearby, and indeed there is a camp very nearby, which is great.
This would work for a camp.
I agree, Blackwall. It would be a very good camp. Let's do it.
Dispatch for you.
And there's a landmark right down here. Griffin Wing Monument. In honor of the Wings of Adamant, the brave griffins who gave their lives in service to keep the blight at bay. In war, victory. In peace, vigilance. In death, sacrifice. So everybody's leveled up, apparently, except me. Longshot now deals even more damage at greater ranges. 900% damage at 25 meters. Longshot now rips through every enemy along its path, doing bonus damage for each extra target it hits. The thing with Archer's Lance, the Archer's Lance upgrade, is you kind of have, you have to kind of micromanage that a lot. Like, you have to line up your targets pretty good. And the AI isn't always great at doing that, but Eagle Eye is a pretty good upgrade for the AI, so I think I'm going to do that one. Dorian, let's finally give Dorian Dispel, since I was just talking about that. I was literally just talking about how I needed to give Dorian Dispel. And you, sir, let's give you Counter Strike, because that's a good skill to have. And here is our friend, the researcher.
Visitors? Thank the Maker. It's been so long since I've spoken to anyone. Have you come to observe the wildlife too?
Sure.
I think I found your supplies. A dead man out in the desert had these on him.
Dead? Blessed Andraste. What about Marcus or Jeannette? This is terrible news. I am Frédéric of Serrault, foremost researcher of draconology in Orlais. I came here with an expedition from the university. But the others are all missing, and our work has been halted. White Claw raiders have made off with much of our supplies. You will help me reclaim the equipment, will you not? You will champion the advancement of science.
Sure, but tell me about this place first.
You're a scholar. What can you tell me about this region?
The Western Approach is a remarkable place, as you are no doubt aware.
Oh yeah, very remarkable.
Many magnificent creatures make their home here. Vargusts, dragons, phoenixes. They thrive where few others can. The land was poisoned by the Second Blight. The Warden Fortress has stood since that time. Before the Blight, the ancient Imperium ruled here. Actually, I saw some Tevinters recently. Studying the runes, perhaps.
Perhaps. Are you safe out here?
The rest of your team went missing, and there are raiders all over the area. Should you be here alone?
I don't know what happened to the rest of the expedition, but the raiders have left me completely undisturbed.
Okay.
I have also seen Grey Wardens and strangers in odd black clothing, but they all ignore my presence completely.
Okay, well, and I mean, you're here now with our camp, so you're probably okay, as long as you stick close to the camp. So tell me about yourself.
Tell me about yourself.
I am a professor at the University of Orlais.
That's cool.
I have made it my life's work to write the definitive monograph on the hunting habits of dragons and their closest kin. On this trip alone, I have produced 20 scrolls of notes.
That's a lot.
More scholarship than has ever been done on the Southern Vargest. But my hope, my great ambition, is to observe the abyssal high dragon taking her prey. A sight no scholar has ever recorded.
Okay. Well, I did find some more of your supplies, so...
I have the supplies you were waiting for right here.
But... some of our equipment is still missing. If you happen to find more of it, please let me know.
Okay.
We'll have to speak some other time.
So I haven't found all of it yet.
So, everyone else who enters this desert dies, but they leave Frederick alone. Odd.
It is odd, yeah. That does seem really weird. And it's also one of those things that the game never bothers to explain. It just kind of is. It's just kind of a thing. Like, everybody just happens to leave Frederick of Serrault alone. That's just how it is. It's like, okay. Anyway, let's grab this. And that was why I wanted to grab that before actually going to the fort, because there is a shard in the fort, and I didn't want to have to make 2 trips, because that was obnoxious. There is another
Let's look around.
Fade Rift in here. Do you... Let's, yeah. Alright, so now I can actually dispel 2 of these. Whoops! That was... Yeah, it can be kind of tough to, like, optimize... When you're as a mage, it can be kind of tough to, like, optimize your setup for every single situation you encounter out in the world, which is why I usually just try to sort of do the best kind of all-around staff that I can find at any given time, or that I can make at any given time, and just sort of keep spares with me in case I run into something that's tougher that needs something a little bit different. Another bottle. A bottle marked Vintage Warden Jern. Smash when dead. Clearly nobody smashed it when he died. A Grey Warden's sword.
Good find.
Huh. And here's our shard. Masterwork Darkspawn shield, huh? Oh, that's a level 12 shield. Nobody in my party is level 12 yet. Not yet. But soon. Anyway, maybe we should, try to find that chantry place. Sure, why not? Sounds good, right? Oh, looks like somebody's in some trouble. How funny.
The name on the manifest is Frederick of Seralt. Didn't we meet him?
Indeed. And I think we found the rest of his supplies now, too. So that's cool. Ah, yes, I think I see our chantry. Out in the distance over here. was a phoenix. Let's check out this spot here first. Rebel Mage's note. It just keeps staring at me. It had to go. What had to go? Probably the... Right. Probably... It's so funny when you have the trial on that makes everything at least your level. It means even these barriers are your level instead of being like level 1, which is what they theoretically should be in the base game, which I think is super funny. It makes it sometimes really kind of a pain in the butt to get through the barriers, but it's worth it the rest of the time in general, I think. So, oh my god, there's a mosaic piece. The creation of a phylactery. We let the boy rest the first night they brought him to the White Spire. I convinced Knight Commander Belrose to delay the ritual till the morning. The journey was long, and the lad could barely keep his eyes open, poor thing. I was certain escape was the furthest thing from his mind. Medine found him a clean cot, in with the other young apprentices, and when I came in with his supper he was already fast asleep. In the morning I showed Medine how the field was to be prepared. First, a simple charm to preserve and protect the glass. Then a spell to keep the blood from forming dark clots. The last step could only be completed with the apprentice present. I sent a young Templar recruit off with the message that we were ready. The boy was escorted to the chamber by Belrose himself. I could tell he had just been awakened. There was a smear of dirt from his face, perhaps from the road. I called the boy to me and cleaned his cheek with my sleeve as I explained the ritual. "We have to take your blood," I said, "because you're special, and we don't want you to be lost. If it happens, the blood will allow us to find you and bring you home again." I let Medine take the lancet this time. The tremor in my hands was worse that day, and I didn't want to make too deep a cut. I held the boy close, and Medine made a small, neat incision on his palm, exactly as instructed. I felt the boy struggle and start to cry. He tried to pull away, but Medine gripped his hand firmly, letting the blood run into the feel. Then Medine cast the spell like we practiced. Within the feel, the blood churned and grew bright in the presence of the mage to whom it was bound. It was done. Another phylactery, another link forged. He was leashed to the White Spire. The boy could not look away from the glow. He was enthralled, and the pain and the tears were forgotten. "See, this is magic," I said to him. "When you are older, I will teach you." Belrose let the boy hold his phylactery for several minutes before he locked it away in the chamber. From the Memoirs of Enchanter Reva Clay, 872 Blessed. I think it's fascinating. One of the more fascinating aspects of the whole Dragon Age mythos to me is the fact that the Chantry so strongly condemns blood magic, and yet they use it on every single mage. On every single mage in their control. Which I think is I love it. I really love that part of it. They're like, yeah, no, the Chantry's totally hypocritical. Condemning blood magic in one breath and then turning right around and literally using it on every single mage. So yeah, that's fun. Here's another one. Chantry logbook. We so far cannot confirm that Pharamond has had any luck attracting spirits at all. It may not be possible for spirits in the Fade to even see someone who has so long been tranquil. He wishes to continue the experiments. We will stay and observe until he is ready to leave. So these are actually, a lot of these are, a lot of this stuff in the Western approach is references to Dragon Age Asunder. Pharamond was a tranquil mage who, it's been a long time since I've read the book, but in the course of the book, they do uncover a means by which the Rite of Tranquility can be reversed, and Pharamond is a mage who was made tranquil and had been tranquil for many years, and was suddenly, and again it was reversed. He became not tranquil. His connection to the Fade was restored in the course of the book. It's been a long time since I've read Asunder, though. I should probably read Asunder again, because it's been quite a while. It's been quite a while since I've read, Masked Empire, too, and that's another one that there's a lot of references to it in this game, though that'll be a little bit later. Most of those references will come a little bit later in the story. This sort of section of the game is pretty heavy with the Asunder references, though. And of course, Cole himself is kind of a walking reference to Asunder, because he was a main character in the book. Scrawled Raider note: caravan of refugees drove off-road so we could collect out of view of Imperial soldiers. Half died, but you can pick up the wounded. Okay. Oh yeah, I think that might be the statue that was knocked over by the rebel mage, possibly, or torn down or whatever. All right. There sure are a lot of bandits in this region, considering how few people there are to actually rob. Like, there's a lot of bandits, given how few travelers probably even go through here. Like, given how few people live here or come through here, there sure are a lot of bandits. Like, what is there even out here to get? What is it they need so much? They're all out here. Oh. I didn't even remember that one. Oops, sorry Vivienne. I didn't have you with me on that. Probably should have.
Who did all this? Grey Wardens?
I don't know. She only slightly approves. She's not in my party. Oh well. Venatory orders. Cassius. Remind your hirelings to leave that Orlesian fop alone. With our red friends leaving the area, Service expects more from the White Claw efforts. I'm not explaining to him that you let those raider idiots kill our best chance at actually getting that high dragon in reach. Octavian. So for some reason, they actually leave him alone in order, I don't know. They want to get the dragon, I guess? I don't know. Shimmerstone Mine. The ground here trembles slightly underfoot. Huh. Okay. Oh. Ancient Warden Logbook. So close, we nearly reached him. Made it down to what looked like a dwarven tide where the song was actually audible, real and thrumming through the air, not just in our heads. It rattled through the lyrium pillars and shook the earth beneath our feet to its dreadful tempo. We lost 30 men in the last cave-in, and the Warden Commander is abandoning the mission. I tried to argue for one last push, but the rock is too unstable down there. We'll have to find another archdemon somewhere more solid. Okay. Yeah, the Wardens definitely do a lot of shady things. Again, one of the things I really like about the Dragon Age series in general is how much they're willing to be like, you know this thing that in Origins seemed pretty straightforward, good or bad. Yeah, it's actually a lot less straightforward than that. So, like in Origins, of course, the Grey Wardens were portrayed as pretty straightforward heroes, right? They were the good guys. And you were a good guy for being one, to stop the Blight. But, like, by this point, ooh, a cleansing rune, nice. Masterwork Vanguard Mail, nice. Now in Inquisition, of course, it's like, well, actually, we're gonna make you sort of confront the fact that the Wardens are actually kind of shady. Like, they can be kind of shady. Like their whole raison d'etre is kind of to, to do whatever it takes to stop the Blight, even if it's not necessarily, even if it's ethically kind of shady. And I like that they're willing to do that. And make everything try to at least attempt to make everything complicated, right? It's because, I mean, really, the fun of an RPG like this is to have to make difficult decisions, is to have to make choices. Here's another quarry, that's good. And, it's like, you're not really making much of a decision if one of them is, if one choice is, like, really obviously the morally correct choice with no negative consequences to it, and one is really obviously the morally incorrect choice with lots of negative consequences. That's not a very compelling decision from a gameplay perspective. So that's why it's why they went out of their way, with greater or lesser success depending on your perspective, in Dragon Age 2 to make sure you're aware that, like, hey, the Templars are messy, mages are messy, there's good and bad people in all of these factions. And so, you know, and everybody, you know, both of them have good points to make. And both of them are, you know, potentially have negative aspects to them too. So that's one of the things that I've always liked about Dragon Age from the start, really. And as the series matures, it only gets better in that regard. Anyway, let's get these back to Frederick.
It seems very unlikely that she could be nesting at this time of year. Ah, fellow researcher.
Indeed.
How can I help you?
Well, I already asked those, so I found your
I
supplies.
have the supplies you were waiting for right here.
Now that I have my recipes back, I'll be able to concoct a bait the High Dragon cannot resist. I have most of what I need, but I still need to gather quillback intestines and a phoenix's tail feather.
Okay. Why don't you tell me more about dragons?
You study dragons. I'd be interested in hearing more about that.
Oh, they are fascinating and little understood creatures, thought extinct for centuries. Now they seem to be making a comeback. The Nevarrans wrote extensively on breeding and nesting behavior, but high dragon hunting patterns have never been studied. I would be most interested if you come across any Gurn corpses that might be victims of dragon attacks.
Okay. Sure.
We'll have to speak some other time.
Let's see. Sweet Mother of Pearl. Okay, well, I think I've probably been going long enough to get a decent-sized episode out of this. So, I'll probably leave it here for now. Next time, I might want to head in the general direction of that-a-way. Because over here, well, there's another camp, but I also, there's another keep over in this direction. That way over there, that's actually a keep that I can take, at Caer Bronach in Crestwood. That is Griffin Wing Keep, and I can take and claim that for the Inquisition, as I did Caer Bronach. So indeed, I would like to do that. So I'll probably do sort of head in that general direction in the next episode. As always, if you like what you see, please like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Later.